Hey gang, DVD Collector back in the movie room, and it's time for another list. We're doing the top 100 favorite films of all time, and this episode is brought to you by the kind people of Pepsi, Crystal Pepsi. So I don't know exactly what year we're in, if we went back in time and got this, or it's new. But I'll tell you, it tastes the same. Anyway. Back to the top 100. We are on number 75. We're going to go from 75 to 51 and talk a little bit about each one. I'm not going to stick on it, too much. So let's go. Number 75, Let the Right One In. Quite possibly, no, it absolutely is the best modern vampire movie. And by modern, I mean last probably 10 years. This film is, if you haven't seen it, you really need to see it. It's a foreign film, and it's about a vampire female that doesn't age, and she's stuck as a teenager. And that's all I'm going to let you know. It's a wonderfully directed film. It does have an American remake that goes along the same guidelines, but this is much superior to that film. Number 74, Frankenstein. I kind of almost hate myself for putting this film so low on the list, but like I said last time, the top 20 are maybe the ones that are stuck in stone. The top 10 are the best. These just get thrown in here. Frankenstein, though, is one of those that I absolutely consider an almost flawless film. A film that's... from beginning to end, one of the greatest films of all time, almost perfect. So, we got Boris Karloff, who sat and did hours and hours of makeup. Just a fantastic film. We have 73, The Fly. This is the original Vincent Price Fly. Just Vincent Price is enough for me to put this on this list. But the movie itself is just really, really, really good. So Jeff Goldblum and the guys redid this in the 80s. And while that is a terrific film itself, this is, to me, my favorite. Number 72, we have the Coens brothers with Fargo. The Coens brothers, you either like them or hate them. I don't know if we've had one yet of them, of their directing talents, but Fargo is one of those that you just get immersed into. There's a TV show right now based on the movie. It's wonderful. If you get a chance to watch it and you like the film, you're going to love this TV show. It's just as witty and it has a lot of elements of this. Okay. 71, Gangs in New York. Daniel Day-Lewis cannot make a bad film. He cannot. He is the ultimate character actor. He is, not character actor, that's totally wrong. Method actor. He gets so involved in these characters and so precise in how he wants them to be and how they are, things like this, how they're historically correct. As Martin Scorsese directed, this also has Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and it is an absolute wonderful movie. Number 70, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Great film. I waited later in life to watch this film, and I really hate myself for that because this is such a good movie. Basically about a fallen child hero that is plagued with torture and just mind games by her sister and the neighborhood around her. So just a great, great film. Number 69, MASH. The movie came out before the TV show. TV shows ended up being my favorite TV show at all time. We have a lot of big names in here, and just a great movie to sit back and watch. It's a little kookier than the TV show. They could get away with a lot more in this. 68, Long Hair of Death. We have Barbara Steele, who is the horror queen, and absolutely the best horror to come out of the 60s. I would like to thank my buddy Mike Gray, followed by number 2, turning me on to her other films besides Black Sunday. I've always loved that. This is one that he really turned me on to. Absolutely loved it. She just has this presence that makes Gothic horror and Italian horror so good. 67, we have another Scorsese film, Raging Bull, with De Niro and Pesci. Black and white film, kind of follows a boxer that's got a lot more demons in him than he knows. It's a great film for anybody that likes really strong dramas, but also boxing movies. Okay, there's a lot of boxing elements into this, and that's my dog Ripley, and she's barking. So, can anybody guess where her name comes from? Let's see. Number 66, Last Man on Earth. This is a film that has been remade at least 2 other times. This version here is Vincent Price's. We have Omega Man, which is Charlton Heston, and we have the newer I Am Legend. All 3 basically the same film, same premise, just little differences in the character who's acting in the films. End of the world, virus went through. Lead character is immune to the virus. He's got the entire New York City to his disposal, and he is trying to kill off and survive against what some versions look vampire, some versions look zombie. I believe they're supposed to be vampires, though. Number 65, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't even need to talk about that. Number 64, Pale Rider. Probably my favorite Eastwood Western. Not his best. I think Unforgiven is one of the best Westerns ever created. Modern Western. But this one is very enjoyable about Clint Eastwood coming into a town and fixing everything just like he always does. Number 63, Training Day. Of course, I don't really need to speak of this. This is Denzel Washington at his finest. A lot of people say this film's overrated. I absolutely do not believe that. This film is absolutely amazing. Everything about it is good. Whether you like it or not, it's not overrated. It is a good, solid movie. Number 62, going to get a lot of shit for this, but it's so far down the list, is Halloween. It's not my favorite Carpenter film, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most notable horror movies of all time. So much good stuff about this. This is what took John Carpenter off. This is a low-budget slasher film. He continued to make some low-budget films with trick photography to make them look like they are bigger than they are, but absolutely amazing. Number 61, my absolute favorite Robin Williams film, The Fisher King. If you've never seen it, I'm not going to talk about it at all because I don't want it to be ruined whatsoever. Just try to find a copy of The Fisher King. Number 60, The Ten Commandments. Charlton Heston, probably the best epic film ever made. Moses and his followers breaking out of Egypt. Yul Brynner. I mean, Charlton Heston, you can't ask for any more. Such a great movie. Number 59, 1933's King Kong. Stop motion animation or not, this story Really packs a punch with me. I love monster movies, as you can see, and Kong is a wonderful, wonderful story. And they've remade it and remade it and remade it, and we're getting ready to see it remade again, which I hope turns out great, even though he looks like he's Godzilla size. We'll deal with it when it comes out. Number 58, another Scorsese film, one of the best, Goodfellas. I can't say much about it. It's one of everybody's favorites. Scott on here, Cineram. I know it's his favorite film of all time, with working with him on the Movie Reviewers 100. It is. It's not my favorite Scorsese film, but it is one of the best. Okay, you got so much stuff going on in that. 57, Cape Fear, and I'm talking about the Robert Mitchum Cape Fear. Love this film. It is creepy as shit. Not in today's standards creepy as shit, but when it came out, I bet it was absolutely crazy as shit. And today, when I watch a film from that age, I try to put myself in that environment. And just a really good thrill. It's definitely a thriller, even though I don't really like that word. 56, one of my all-time favorite comedies, and it's Young Frankenstein. We got Mel Brooks, we got Gene Wilder, just wonderful film on a parody of Frankenstein. If you've never seen it, go ahead. It is black and white. It had a hard time being made because nobody wanted it in their studio being black and white, but they eventually found it, and they were right on. It's a masterpiece for black and white. Number 56, Badlands. Of course, Terrence Malick directed, starring my favorite actress of all time, Sissy Spacek, and we basically have a guy that comes and sweeps this teenage girl off her feet, and they go on a crime spree. So that's all you can really say about it. I mean, there's much more to the movie, but that's about all you can describe it as. So, 54, Jimmy Stewart, right up there in my top one or two favorite actors of all time, and It's a Wonderful Life. Such a great Christmas movie, such great lessons in this. And if you haven't seen this, it has much more in it than some crazy guy running around screaming Merry Christmas and the angels get their bells seen. It's so much more than that. There's a lot more depth into it than that. Number 53, Freaks. If you haven't seen Freaks, I absolutely recommend you watch Freaks. It is a classic horror movie. And if you like American Horror Story, season 4 Freak Show, based on a lot of this stuff. A lot of the characters are taken from this movie to make into that show, which is awesome to see them again. But this one it shows that freaks stick together. Number 52, Stand By Me. Rob Reiner, in my eyes, his masterpiece. He only has one other one that I think is even close. This particular film is absolutely one of my go-to films. Like when I'm in here chilling out and just doing little things, not really paying attention to the TV or something, I throw in Stand By Me. As a matter of fact, I have a copy that sits by right underneath the DVD player on the next shelf it's ready to go. I can pretty much quote the entire movie as I'm watching it. So it's been with me a long, long time. Number 51 and the last one for this week, Devil's Backbone, Guillermo del Toro's, in my eyes, his masterpiece. This is about a orphanage that is haunted by a ghost that was a little boy that was done wrong years and years and years ago, that confines in one of the children, and eventually we go from ghost story to revenge story. So very good. A lot of Del Toro's films are amazing. To me, this is top notch. We also have, which I think was in one of the other, Chronos was in the other list we did last week. This one trumps it tremendously, and then you have all his other films. But this is number one. So that's it. Devil's Backbone. Next week we're going to start number 50. And go from there. We're getting better as the films go on, so I hope that you guys enjoy this. So I'm going to sit back, write a list out, film another video, and enjoy my nice, tasty Crystal Pepsi. I'll see you guys later.